suicide.
They're hijacking the plane.
I've got enough bullets in this gun for you and everyone else on this plane.
This is our last chance. Pull out!
They're coming!
So the same visit to the dollar store in which I secured Dead Ant, I secured Lost in the Pacific, which, like Dead Ant, I had no idea existed. It fell out of the sky, right? $2.
What a find for you. That was a lucky day at the dollar store.
And again, it just says so much about who I am as a person that I would see these two things and say, yes.
I should tell my friend Raylee about these.
So there's been this new kind of blockbuster that's been showing its ugly face lately, where they get a bunch of different big production companies from all over the world, and they finance a movie that's meant to be spread as wide a web as possible, or a net as possible. Like, China will like this movie, America will like this movie, India will like this movie, Mexico will like this movie. This is a movie for everyone. And it's a calculated thing. The Meg movies are this, where they have like a half, the very international cast, but with names on both sides of the sea. Maybe those people aren't recognizable to us, but it's got Jason Statham, so, you know, and anybody not impressed by that, there's a gigantic monster shark, right? So I think Lost in the Pacific was sort of like China trying to do that the other way. It was all produced there, but there's Canadian production in it, there's an American production in it, there's Chinese money in it, and they want to do a similar thing where they want to make this movie that will appeal to everyone. And in that effort to appeal to everyone, I think they've made a movie that would appeal to no one. In fact, I got this weird, uncanny thing. I was talking to you before we recorded about my anxiety over AI. This, to me, feels like if you programmed AI intelligence to produce a movie for you, what the AI intelligence would produce. The dialogue, which I think is a lot of the time being performed phonetically by actors who do not speak English, certainly not comfortably, is staggered and painful and protracted, and it deflates any performance. They're so busy just trying to make the words coming out of their mouths make sense that putting any inflection or weight or performance behind it gets lost. But then you have these other actors, Brandon Routh and some other ones who are just, you know, they speak English, so that's not the problem. So they're just trying to give a performance of a script that's built off of several other bad scripts. Whoever wrote this movie was a big fan of Under Siege, the Steven Seagal, the cook is secretly a super spy action movie.
Yeah.
And Air Force One, the Harrison Ford hostage taking on an airplane thing. And man, this is another movie. They want everything. They want to appease to everyone. So it's an action movie, it's a disaster movie, and then, surprise, surprise, it is a terrible, terrible, terrible monster movie on top of it. And that's the funniest thing. I looked up some of the promotional stuff about the movie, people being interviewed talking about the movie, trailers and stuff. Nobody mentions the cats. The cats don't show up in any of the trailers. Like,
well, and even when the cover that you sent me, because I couldn't find it only because it was not matching, like the one that you sent me, I couldn't find the same, like, and I was like, is that a bat? Is it a rat? Is it a bear? Like, what creature is that creature? It is hard to tell from the cover of the movie. Not gonna lie.
It's a mutated house cat. But what a bizarre experience it is to watch this movie. It's kind of an interesting experience to watch this movie, but it's not a movie. It's like it feels like it was made by a child or a robot or a child robot. Like it's like it's made by someone who has seen a lot of movies and kind of understands in a limited way how movies work, but is failing so brutally at everything it attempts. I never believe I'm in a real plane. I'm always distracted by the elaborate camera movements. None of the performances seem credible. Some of them not the actor's fault. Some of them are fine performances, just there's nothing credible about anything that's going on. You just stare at this movie with abject wonder. It's like a science experiment or something, or like an alien tried to make a movie to entertain us, but it didn't understand.
That's what I was thinking. Like if an alien came to Earth and was like, "I have created this thing for you, please watch it."
Humans make movies, and this is what a movie is. But for all of that, it does cumulatively have an interesting effect watching it, because it is just so fucking bizarre. And in the end, like I say, in their attempt to entertain everyone, it has entertained no one. No one has heard of this movie. This is the most obscure thing. And, you know, they were obviously ambitious. Somebody thought they were going to make millions of dollars with this movie. This was going to be a meg. And it I don't know what it is, Raylee. Tell me, what is Lost in the Pacific?
I mean, this is one, okay, so similar to, like, not at all similar, but in the way that we were talking about Twice Dead,
right?
I'm like, it cannot figure out what it is. Like, is this a home invasion movie? Is this a home alone? Like, is this a creature movie? Is this we don't? I never knew what the next scene was going to be. Like, ever in this movie was I like, you know what's gonna happen next? Like, no, because it's like, what is? They didn't even know. I don't even know if the actor knew what the next piece of the movie was going to be until it was happening. The only thing that we knew for sure was that the most beautiful girl on the plane was the captain.
Yep.
She kept saying it in every single one of her lines that she was captain. I was like, we need to do like a bingo card, like how many she uses that.
I assume she's a bigger name on the other side of the ocean, and that's why she's being so heavily featured. But her performance is a real problem, because she's just not credible.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's because she's a bad actress. I think it's because she doesn't speak English. And she's playing a character who confidently speaks English. It's like watching someone play Shakespeare when they don't understand Shakespeare. Sounds are coming out of their mouths, but like they're not backing it up.
Yeah, it was, and then like it was just bizarre, and even like every character is such a stereotypical character, but none of them would stereotype like very well. Like the pop star doesn't behave the way I don't know. I don't know. And then the military guy who came on the plane with the girl with the son who she's doing this for to make the money so she can be with her kid, like. Okay.
Well, and again, like, I want to be mean to those actors because they don't have the same problem that a lot of the other actors are dealing with, but the script is terrible over and above that. But it was not a good watch, but a strangely fascinating watch. It was like watching all of these people struggle to keep their head above water for as long as possible. But inevitably, everybody fails, right?
And that's an interesting analogy because they do reference the Titanic several times.
That's right.
In the movie, and I was like, this isn't even good foreshadowing, you guys. Like, I don't know. Because even like playing the cello to the very end or whatever, I'm like, that's very Titanic to me, with like the band going down with the ship or whatever sort of thing. And I'm like, but you're not. It's like, so you're like, it's like tip of the hat to that movie, but you're not really doing it any justice and not doing it well. So I don't know why you're doing this.
And again, no beat in the movie is really credible. Like this whole luxury plane that's flying across the ocean, I never believe it at any point. Not in the exteriors, not in the interiors. All of these long one-er camera shots that he's going from character to character, they're so desperate. They're just like, you can see them like, this is what a big budget Hollywood movie would do. So let's do that. Yeah. And it doesn't translate well. They're trying and failing, but not in a way where I was cheering for it with Lake Placid Legacy, but in a way that I was fascinated at who was making these decisions, and why was it that nobody on the set was able to whisper in someone's ear and just say, that is not going to work at all. Because, yeah, you're right. The two, they land the plane to refuel. They meet these monsters for the first time. These military guys get on board the plane, and one of the monster cats get on the plane, and then they have to land on this aircraft carrier again.
That doesn't exist on any GPS or anything.
No, but every element of the plot is, they're asking you to take such a big leap, and no help. They're not helping you at all. And when it comes to the special effects sequence on them landing on the aircraft carrier, for instance, it looks like a cartoon, like a bad cut scene from a video game movie. And then on top of that, Brandon Routh is having people jump out of the plane while it's still crashing. So there's no sense of speed or momentum inside the plane. And you get the feeling if someone jumped out of the plane while it was skidding across this concrete surface, they would just splat like a bug on a windshield. And they think, there's no physics to the movie. There's no credible characters or acting. The bad guys that are doing the bad things, their motivations don't really make sense. Like, nothing. It's fascinating how nothing works, but the whole movie becomes this hypnotizing thing to watch because of it. This is something that might need to be studied, like Birdemic or The Room or something, in that it's not good, but it's so bad that it's almost interesting.
Can you think of another movie that falls into this realm with it?
Well, a lot of people would say that about The Room. You know, do you know that one?
Yeah.
Because the man making that movie, although he denies it now, at the time was earnestly trying to make a melodrama and win some Oscars. And the movie was so unselfconsciously awful that people 20 years later will line up to pay money to watch it at midnight. And that similar thing is happening here. They have tried to make a movie to appeal to as many people as possible, and I feel like they've achieved the exact opposite. And that is kind of fascinating.
Yeah, it's true. I really had a hard time following it. Like, there was parts where the Chinese characters were speaking to themselves in Chinese, and I was like,
grateful. They
should have just done that and had, like, a translator on the luxury airplane so that the characters could have stayed in their Chinese, like, language, because I felt that those scenes, of all the scenes, were best. Like, those conversations between the Chinese speakers, like, to me, felt the most natural or authentic or like something. Yeah.
Well, and it's a different approach with an Italian movie. If they know that it's going international, they'll shoot without sound and then they'll just overdub whatever region.
Right.
So you get a different performance depending on what language you get it in, and that uncanny where their lips don't match their face. And as much as I complain about that, I will take that over an actor phonetically struggling through these lines that they clearly do not understand.
And that's where I was like, because I kept thinking that when they were speaking, it was dubbed. So then I was confused that their lips matched.
Yeah.
Like, it actually made my brain... It's like when you take a sip of something and you think it's root beer, but it's Sprite, and you're just like, bah!
That's
like,
wrong.
Yeah, like my brain was like, no, you should be like... Not, I don't know. It took me out of the movie every time those characters were speaking, and I had to like reprogram my brain to be like, oh no, this is what's happening.
Some of the wrong decisions I guess, like a super jet. Okay, yeah, that's credible. The hostage thing is a pretty standard action template. Brandon Routh, maybe, I'm not sure about the timing of this movie, but he had a sort of hot phase when he got cast as Superman, so maybe having him in the movie at the time was carried more weight somehow. But what I definitely don't understand is the cat monsters. The cat monsters it was clearly a misstep, And like to the point where they didn't include it in the marketing tells me that on some point someone must have recognized it, but they were locked into it. One of the money men or somebody somewhere with power said, "We're doing the cats." And
that's what like, so when I was trying to find the movie, I had to message you and say, "Is this the right one?"
Yep.
And none of the ones that I could find like matched the movie that you had sent me, and I was like, pretty sure there's the creatures in this movie, but none of the synopses, none of the like cover pages, like nothing.
From the cover of the DVD, it would look like you're looking at a hostage thriller on an airplane.
Which would have been a great movie.
Right.
Like that, the setup in that movie, they could have made that movie with what they had.
Yeah.
If they just wouldn't have landed on the cat island.
And it had the twice dead thing of trying to do everything. Just pick a thing and do that one thing well in trying to do 10 things and doing all 10 of those things badly.
Because even like the tycoon whose like business is failing and he's trying to, you know, this is like his last ditch effort to try and be famous again or whatever with the reporter. Like that all works on paper.
Even the mind-numbing like father-son thing that they have going on there, it didn't like wow me, but it worked enough. They hate each other, but at the end of the day they love each other. Yeah, that is a familiar thing, but it works. That's why we do it again and again.
And did the classical musician have any lines?
I think he did have a few, but was he blind?
I
think he was blind.
Was the premise.
I think that's why the glasses and the weird stokeness and everybody going out of the way to help them. But the movie failed to tell us that, I think, because we both have to debate it here after both having watched the movie. Was he blind?
And I'm like, now that you say it, maybe he was
right?
blind. Wait a minute.
But he seems to know when to run, and he knows to set up the cello and play it because the cats are coming. No one tells him to do that. And why do the cats get hypnotized by the music? Are they snakes? And
then does the whistling work? Like, I can buy into the classical music lulling an animal into hypnosis.
Okay.
But then when the son just starts whistling, like that, I cannot buy. I can buy a lot. I can buy into a lot, but I cannot buy into that.
And it also underwrites the whole quote-unquote would-be sacrifice of the musician, although he does end up getting saved, but like that he somehow knew to do that, and he did that so that the group could get on the plane. That's all underwritten. Well, anybody could have done it, right? They just whistle.
Yeah, totally.
The cats look terrible, and they're not like frightening. Like, so like even if they were,
you know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
You know, in Team America, when they have the puppets and then they just drop the real
actual cat. Yeah.
But right away, that was like the first thing I thought of was that black cat on Team America.
And I know that cats can be quite vicious, and they bite and they claw, and like even one angry cat can actually cause you a real fucking problem. And like in the real world, that an army of feral, vicious cats would be awful, but they don't bring that across. And since they're mutant cats anyway, why not make them panther size? Then, you know, you've got your movie affected monster, and then that you can put on a poster or in the trailer, and it having it not look ridiculous. Because I have to say, did you stay past the credits? They smashed in the credits, and the techno music starts playing, and then they cut to the exterior of the plane, and stowed away at the bottom of the plane there's a little cat, because we always have to have that stinger. And that was the only genuine laugh that the movie produced for me. I was just like, of fucking course.
Yeah, because all of our movies, like you said, maybe that's the theme here, Larry. Maybe we figured it out. The final seconds of every
stinger.
movie is like, because I had totally tuned it out. Like, I was done. Like, the crappy end music was playing. I was like, all right, this movie is fucking done. And then that happened, and I was like, are you even... And also, I had it, again, I could buy into a lot, but, like, the son at the end, like, how did he get on the helicopter? Like, I had a lot of questions about that, and how did he not know that the cat was there? You would have known the helicopter was not that big.
No.
It was not the luxurious ship that we had at the beginning. It was very small. How did he get on there? How did he not know the cat was there?
And again, I think that it was the last scene of the movie and everybody wanted to be done, right?
There.
But what I'm going to say about Lost in the Pacific, it's a bad movie, but it's bad in an interesting and unique way. So if you are a connoisseur of bad movies, it might be worth seeking out just for that.
I would say it has some like real cult classic elements that could get get a group of people to buy into it.
Yeah. And by the way, the $2 just for the music they play on the menu screen, worth it.
All right, good to know.
Good enough.